For nearly 2 decades, Afghanistan was more than a destination for Peter and Barbie Reynolds. It was home. In Bamiyan province, the British couple became respected elders, running a small charity focused on education and local development. Their commitment was to the people, not politics. They learned the language, celebrated with neighbours, and built deep trust. Through years of upheaval, they stayed, believing in grassroots change and the resilience of their adopted community. Their work was quiet but impactful, woven into the daily life of Bamiyan. They were not outsiders. They were family to many Afghans. This deep integration made what happened next all the more shocking. After 18 years of dedication, their story took a sudden, brutal turn. The Reynolds had built a life of purpose and connection, never imagining it would be torn away so violently. Their presence was a testament to hope in a place marked by hardship. They were fixtures in a community that had seen so much change. Their ordeal would soon become a symbol of the risks faced by foreigners in Afghanistan. The life they loved was about to be shattered in an instant. On February 1st, 2025, Peter and Barbie's world collapsed. Taliban authorities arrested them without warning or explanation. One day they were running their charity, the next they were prisoners. The lack of charges or information left their family in the UK desperate and terrified. The couple was shuffled between 10 prisons, including the notorious Puli Charki. Each move deepened their fear and confusion. Their arrest highlighted the dangers for foreigners in Afghanistan since the Taliban's return. With the British embassy closed, there was no help, just warnings to stay away. Even years of humanitarian work offered no protection. The psychological shock was immense. They were treated as criminals in the country they called home. Cut off from the world, their fate was uncertain. The nightmare had only just begun. The next 8 months were a test of survival for Peter and Barbie. Malnutrition and illness ravaged their bodies. Barbie could barely walk, and Peter suffered a mini-stroke. Cramped, unsanitary cells and armed guards became their daily reality. Sometimes separated, their isolation deepened the trauma. Medical care was almost non-existent. The United Nations and their family pleaded for their release, calling their detention inhumane. Despite rare moments of respect from captors, the suffering was relentless. Kindnesses could not erase the damage. When finally freed, they were frail shadows of themselves. The ordeal left deep scars, physical and psychological. Their captivity was a brutal reminder of the risks faced by those who stay behind to help. 238 days of quiet suffering would haunt them long after their release. The world learned the truth about the Reynolds' suffering thanks to Faye Hall, an American detainee. After her release, Faye sounded the alarm. Peter and Barbie were dying in prison. Her urgent plea cut through official denials, exposing the couple's dire condition. Faye described filthy cells, inadequate food, and the couple's rapid decline. She called on the US and UK governments to act, making their plight impossible to ignore. Her testimony contradicted Taliban claims of fair treatment. Faye's courage galvanized international pressure and sped up diplomatic efforts. Her eyewitness account gave a human face to the crisis. It forced governments and organizations to respond. Faye's voice was the catalyst that turned quiet negotiations into a race against time. Without her, Peter and Barbie's suffering might have remained hidden. For Peter and Barbie, the worst torment was not knowing. Months passed without any explanation for their arrest. The fear of execution was constant, gnawing at their hope. Moved between prisons, sometimes separated, they faced endless uncertainty. Court appearances were meaningless. No charges were ever presented. Legal limbo became its own form of torture. Isolated from the world, they battled despair and the fear they'd never see family again. The absence of due process was a weapon, eroding their resilience. Even their release came without explanation, underscoring the arbitrary nature of their ordeal. The psychological scars would linger long after their bodies began to heal. Peter and Barbie's release was the result of tireless behind-the-scenes diplomacy. With no embassy in Kabul, the UK relied on trusted intermediaries. Qatar played a pivotal role, bridging the gap between the UK and the Taliban. Qatari negotiators broke the deadlock, making freedom possible. The family's gratitude to Qatar was immense. The case proved that patient, quiet negotiation can save lives, even in the world's toughest environments. Diplomacy, not threats, was their lifeline. While the couple languished in prison, unseen efforts were underway to bring them home. After 238 days, freedom finally came. Peter and Barbie were flown to Doha, where their daughter Sarah awaited them. The reunion was raw and emotional. Tears, relief, and disbelief. Months of advocacy and worry ended in a single embrace. The family thanked everyone who fought for their release, especially the Qatari mediators. The focus shifted to recovery. The couple was frail, traumatized, but safe. Surrounded by family, they began the slow process of healing. The nightmare was over, but the journey back to health had just begun. Their story became a symbol of hope and resilience. The pain of separation was replaced by the comfort of reunion. The ordeal had ended, but its impact would last. Now, they could finally start to rebuild. Looking back, Peter and Barbie's feelings were complex. Despite the suffering, they remembered moments of kindness from their captors. Their love for Afghanistan remained, even as they mourned the life they lost. Nearly 20 years of charity work ended in forced exile. Mrs. Reynolds even expressed hope of returning one day, if peace ever came. Back in the UK, they found joy in simple comforts: a warm meal, a safe bed. Their resilience shone through, even as they grieved for friends left behind. They placed their hope not in governments, but in the Afghan people. Their departure was not a choice, but a painful necessity. The trauma of expulsion was real, but so was their enduring connection to Afghanistan. As they healed, their thoughts remained with the country they still loved. Their story was about loss, but also about the power of hope and human connection. The Reynolds ordeal is a stark warning. The UK government's advice is clear. Afghanistan is too dangerous for foreigners. No amount of goodwill can guarantee safety in today's Afghanistan. The couple has decided never to return. The scars are too deep. Now, their focus is on healing and rediscovering life's simple joys. Surrounded by family, they are slowly recovering. Their hope for Afghanistan endures, rooted in the spirit of its people. Their story is a testament to resilience and the preciousness of freedom.